Welcome back to the Web Monkey Show. My name is Alex, and in today's video, I will be discussing the recent controversy between WordPress and WP Engine that eventually led to WordPress banning WP Engine. I will be discussing what exactly happened, and I'll be sharing my thoughts. Now, just so you're aware, this actually occurred a couple of weeks ago, but because I was in a much needed vacation, I was unable to talk about it then, but I did make a promise that as soon as I get back to the office, I will talk about it. So what exactly happened? Now, for those of you who don't know, WP Engine are actually one of the most popular WordPress hosting companies out there. They're not exactly WordPress developers. They don't make themes or plugins, but what they do is they provide hosting services to WordPress users. Now, this whole controversy started when Matt Mullenweg, who happens to be the founder of WordPress and also the CEO of Automattic being the company that owns WordPress, he wrote in a blog post dated September 21st, 2024, and he said WP Engine is not WordPress. He went as far as to claim that WP Engine are a cancer to the WordPress community. Now, when the founder of WordPress calls you a cancer to WordPress, that's not a very, very good thing, right? So there are two major reasons why Matt felt this way. The first was the fact that WP Engine denies their users the ability to track post revisions. Now, it says it here that WordPress is a content management system and the content is sacred. Every change you make to every page, every post is tracked in a revision system, just like the Wikipedia. This means if you make a mistake, you can always undo it. It also means if you're trying to figure out why something is on a page, you can see precisely the history and edits that led to it. These revisions are stored in our database. This is very important, but WP Engine turns this off. They disable revisions because it costs them more money to store the history of the changes in the database, and they don't want to spend that to protect your content. And I did find on WP Engine's website the actual post where they do talk about this. It's under post revisions. And in here, you can see very clearly, every WP Engine site has WordPress revisions disabled by default. Revisions can only be enabled by contacting support. Now, I personally never even knew this about WP Engine. They've actually contacted me many times in the past to promote them, but because I only work with SiteGround and Cloudways, I declined to do so. Now, WP Engine claim that they do this because they want to improve the speed of the websites of their users, which isn't exactly accurate. Honestly, I do believe Matt when he says the WP Engine are simply trying to cut costs by not having to provide larger databases, which would mean spending more money. There is a second reason why Matt also accused WP Engine of being a cancer, and that is because even though WP Engine are not legally obligated to do so, when you use the letters WP in your marketing or in your branding, you are expected in some way to contribute to the development of WordPress. WordPress is open source. However, according to Matt, WP Engine do not in any way provide any sort of funding or any sort of help or contribution to the WordPress community. They're simply using the letters WP to promote themselves. And it actually works because when a lot of people, when they go to WP Engine and they're looking to host their WordPress website, they know WP stands for WordPress in most cases, right? So they would automatically assume that, WP Engine might mean WordPress Engine. It might also mean that they are affiliated or they are partners with WordPress, maybe that the official hosting providers for WordPress, something like that. And it's actually worked for them because WP Engine, they're actually a very, very, very successful company. So what happened here was that Matt eventually decided to ban WP Engine. Now, what exactly does this mean? Well, it simply means that WP Engine were unable to provide updates to the themes and plugins for their users, the users who had stored their websites on their platform. Now, this actually backfired on Matt and WordPress because the real victims here were the owners of the websites that were hosted with WP Engine. They were unable to update their themes, update their plugins, and even update the WordPress core. This, of course, led to security vulnerabilities and things like that. So a lot of people felt like, hey, in an attempt by WordPress to punish WP Engine, they ended up punishing the tens of thousands of innocent users who had their website stored on WP Engine. So there was a huge uproar, and this action actually backfired on Matt. A lot of people claim that Matt, even though he's the founder of WordPress, he alone shouldn't have the authority to make such crucial decisions. And there have been also other developers right now who are very concerned that, hey, if you can turn off WP Engine's ability to access the WordPress repository and updates just because you don't like the way they use the letters WP, then what's there to stop you from doing that to me? So it's really, really backfired. And the thing is, WordPress eventually restored WP Engine's access back to the repository only until the 1st of October. I do believe that they've turned it off. However, WP Engine only a few days ago, October 1st, on Twitter or X, they did announce that we are pleased to report that our solution has been fully deployed and regular workflow practices have been restored to our customers around the globe. So they basically found a way to access the WordPress repository through some means. I really don't know how they've been able to do this. So that's basically what happened. Now, I can see it from Matt Mullenweg's side. Obviously, WP Engine, they've been kind of sleazy in the way they do the things. The fact that they're using the letters WP to promote their brand, to promote their hosting services, and yet at the same time, they're not contributing anything to the WordPress community. I can obviously understand why Matt would feel very, very annoyed by this. But at the same time, I feel like denying WP Engine access to the WordPress repository really backfired because he ended up affecting the innocent users, those who had their website stored on the WP Engine platform. And like I said, it backfired. Lots of developers right now are scared that Matt might decide to also deny them access to the WordPress repository over one issue or the other. So that's basically what happened. That's the latest. If there are any major developments from this story, I will update this particular video, but that's basically what happened between WordPress and WP Engine. So let me know what your thoughts are. Have you ever used WP Engine? Maybe you're actually hosting with them. Do you like their hosting service? I'd actually love to hear from you. I don't know of anyone who has used WP Engine before, so it would be great if you're one of them and you can share your thoughts about them. And of course, if you have any questions about anything I've talked about in today's video, I'd love to hear from you. Put your comments down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, do give it a thumbs up. Share the video with anyone who you feel might benefit from it. And if you're new here to the channel, welcome to the Web Monkey. I cover news around the world of WordPress and web development. I make tutorials as well, things like that. So if you do enjoy content like this, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so that you're notified whenever I upload a new video. So stay safe out there, and I'll talk to you next time. Cheers.